Hey everyone, welcome to another outdoor Intrigue adventure. This time you've just got one half of the team, me, Ben. Unfortunately, Megs is still recovering from a long-term injury. She fractured her hip. It was a stress fracture from all of her endurance running training, and so it's been a really long journey back. So so I decided to come out on this little solo overnighter here in our local hills in the Southern Highlands. It's a really lovely day, so I thought I'd take advantage of it. So the plan is, we're going to head up this way, up towards the little Lochen, and then cut up to the summit of a Corbett called Beinn Bheula, which is one of my favourite little hills out the back here, 779 metres, and we're going to pitch right up on the summit. There's a trig point and a nice flat area where you can camp and see what we get in terms of views. There's a possibility of cloud inversions, at least it's pretty clear at the moment, so yeah, we're just going to take it easy. Got a new tent to try out and yeah, some snacks to have. So I guess let's head up there. So that's our first view of the hill that we're going to be camping on. That's Beinn Bheula. And it's kind of got a little shrouding of cloud on its craggy face here. The problem here on this section is once you come off of the estate track, which is, you know, pretty good going, up to this point, so it's about 450 metres up, there's a Lochen, I'll show you in a sec as we come up this hill. Once you come off of that, it's just absolute bog fest. It's just so boggy. I mean, look at it. So right until we get, I mean, pretty much until you get near to this sort of summit plateau, it's relatively boggy all the way. Basically just following a stalker's track. Still got light around, very beautiful, that flat winter light, which is so nice. I'll show you. And then we've got this. I mean, boggy. So there's the Arica Hills over this side. Not these ones right in front of us, over the other side there. And here's where we're going, up into that. So we're just shy of 600 metres up now. We've come up this very boggy stalker's track up this way. I've got the Les Sportiva Mutants on, so they're a mountain and hill running shoe that I really like. I'll do a review on those at some point, I haven't yet. Obviously they're not waterproof at all, so they're completely mesh breathable. So I'm wearing Gore-Tex socks, which I always bang on about. But I'm wearing those, so on a slower route, often if you go for a run it's fine, just get wet feet, you know you're going to be heading home. But if you're out all night for a wild camp, it's quite nice to not have soaking wet feet, and you can use them when you get out the tent as well, to just, if you want to go and, you know, call to nature or whatever, it's really easy and they keep your feet dry, so highly recommend them. And you don't have to tuck trousers in, but obviously it's pretty cool to do that. So. We're just below the summit now, got about 130 odd metres of ascent pretty much straight up in here. It's kind of a ridge that connects the two, the smaller summit being this one up next to us, the bigger one being just over that way. But we're going to fill up on water, I think, in a second. So we've got enough for tonight and for tomorrow morning. We'll fill the water bag up and make sure we're all topped up, and then we'll pull up onto the summit, hopefully just in time for sunset. We've not got long, maybe half an hour until sunset maximum, so better get our skates on. And it's colder than I thought this evening up here as well. Temperature's definitely dropping, So yeah, let's get up there. So that's our wee water source in here. It's all fresh and flowing nicely, so I'm just going to fill up that avenue. That's a 1.5 litre. That's 1.5 litre. Just show you the view quickly. It's just very beautiful this evening. Back down to Loch Eck. You sort of got Jura out this way. Arran is sort of in that direction, although we can't see them with all the cloud. So yeah, fill up that 1.5 litre bag. I've got 500 ml soft flask filled up, and we've got about another 800 ml of squash on the side filled up as well, so should be good. Look at this, guys. Wow, this cloud hanging about is giving a pretty crazy impression. I have to look which hills those are. I recognise them, but yeah, I'll check it out. This is where we came up from. Steep pull up, this last section. And there's the moon. And there's our summit, just over there. Really close now. And there's hills off in the distance. It's the Arica Hills over that way. My local hills. I've got cloud moving through constantly. Wow. You can see these drifts pulling through around us, and then it will clear up again. Wow. What a beautiful evening. Look at all that. Just islands floating, aren't they? And other good news is there's the summit. There it is. That's the summit right there. So just gonna get a down jacket on because it's getting cool up here already, and then we'll find a little spot to pitch up here. Lots nice and flat, so we just need somewhere that's not too sodden. But yeah, there's plenty, as you can see, there's loads of space up here. Look at that view. Oh, wow. Stunning. Some pretty beautiful colours out here for the sunset. Looking back over the summit, out towards the west and all the way around. And yeah, we got the tent set up pretty much anyway. I need to put this pole sleeve on, I think. Well, you don't have to, but I want to test it out and try it anyway. So yeah, you can see there's Loch Goilhead village down in there. There's a moon. But yeah, so it's my initial pitch. I've got it up at least, but obviously I'm going to refine things first time, so just figuring it out. But yeah, this is this pole sleeve that you sort of recommended to tie over here, and it gives you a bit more water protection on the seams, but it also gives you extra guy points for this sort of main pole, which would be handy. I mean, we're not expecting anything particular tonight in terms of weather. I mean, we're reasonably high up, so we're going to get probably a bit of a breeze, as you can see, but it shouldn't be anything too much. Although it's pretty chilly already. You can feel the cold. But yeah, so that's the Terra Nova Laser Compact 1. There he is. You can see. So inside space is pretty good. There's sort of sleeping area. Then you got your porch here, which definitely got enough room to store stuff and to do a bit of cooking here as well, which I will be doing. Then you got vents at either end. There's one, and there's another one, like that, which is handy, so you should get some good airflow through. So yeah, I'm going to chuck some stuff in here and figure out these last bits of setting up, and then we'll make some food and sort of watch the light and chill out a bit. Give Maggie's a call, see how she's doing. I think I've got signal up here. I attached this pole sleeve, but I'm not 100% sure on it. So, I mean, it's on there firmly, but I just don't love the way that it sits, or the concept, to be perfectly honest. But it gives you these extra guy lines, so those are in now, one on that side and another one over there. And I brought some extra guy line up with me. I'm going to faff about with it if I get a chance tomorrow, because I want to change these setups on these ends, because there's extra little points there, so I want to maybe do something different. So I bought some mini line locks and some guys. Just realised this is quite skew, isn't it? Guess that's okay, I can always change that. But yeah, it's all pretty taut. I mean, the tent itself, you can see, it's pretty nice. It's not moving around a huge amount. But yep. So it's gotten very cold up here now. The clouds moved in a bit more, and obviously the sun's starting to completely disappear. We're well after sunset now. So I'm going to jump in the tent and warm up. Let me turn this off. I'm going to jump in the tent and warm up a little bit and have some snacks, and then I'll come back at you a little bit. All right. We've got some water boiling. Warmed up nicely now, which is good. So yeah, obviously putting the tent up and being stationary in the cold wind as the sun had set meant that I cooled down quite a bit. Although I was really warm on top because I brought my PhD down jacket, which is just ridiculously warm, but my feet were frozen. Because obviously I was wearing those shoes that are not waterproof, so even with the Gore-Tex socks, where your feet are like dry, the water is still sat all around them, and so it starts to get really cold. So that was the main thing. When I jumped in, I was like, I brought some I always bring a pair of dry liner socks for sleeping in, and I've got some little Cumulus down booties, just really sort of small minimal ones, but they work. So I put my feet in them, and then obviously got into my quilt as well, using the Katabatic Gear Palisade. Yeah, it's a brilliant quilt. They do amazing quality quilts. It's rated to -1, but I've used it way below that. It depends on how you like to use your sleeping kit. If you want to be able to sleep in very minimal layers, then obviously you have to have a warmer bag or quilt, whereas I'm happy to carry a lighter quilt or bag and then wear the layers that I've got with me anyway. It doesn't bother me too much, so I often can push things a lot by wearing like a down jacket, your hat, a thin pair of gloves, balaclava sometimes with a quilt, pair of thermals that I've got on, but like everything, you can end up just wearing everything if need be, obviously to boost the warmth. It does get to a point where if you put in waterproofs on, you know that it's probably a bit cold for the sleeping stuff you brought, but it works pretty well otherwise, and it means you can cut down on a lot of weight. But otherwise, we've got this boiling over here. Good old Soto Windmaster. Brilliant stove, absolute favourite stove. Just works so well. I use it right into winter. No problem at all, because it's got a gas regulator on it, so it helps to keep the pressure more steady. But obviously the main thing is keeping your gas canister warm. So I had that just tucked in my down jacket pocket right until I was going to use it. But yeah, you can see we've nearly got a boil going. And the wind's picked up in the last bit since I got in the tent. It's gradually been picking up more and more and more. We're just in a giant cloud outside. I'll show you in a bit maybe, but it's just like there's no visibility. We're just in a cloud, completely in a cloud. So condensation should be interesting. But we've got good airflow at least. I opened the vents on the ends, both ends, and I've got the door, obviously I've got the door open as well, not just while cooking but in general, because it's got a double zip, which I really like. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, so far I like this little Terra Nova Laser Compact one. It was easy to pitch, easy enough, and there's good room inside, plenty of space. Porch is nice and big for cooking in, and the little area that you're sleeping in is good sized as well. So the main thing is then what's it like in weather, which is obviously only time will tell. Right, that's coming on the boil shortly, and I have I really like this meal, this blah band pasta with tomato and garlic. They're really tasty, these ones. Highly recommend these. All of their ones are really yummy. Give you a quick look at what it looks like out here. Just jump down the tent quick. See, that's flapping because it's zipped open. Got a good pitch on it. Seems sturdily in place, which is good. And you can see the moon. Very bright. Otherwise you can see we're basically in a big wet cloud. So, as you can see, it's pretty damp. A lot of moisture on everything. It's just over 3 degrees Celsius up here at the moment. And I think it needs better guide points on these, doesn't it? So you can really get that tension out. Quite much better. Changes to be made. But yeah, not much happening out here, so I think when I came out, there was a ptarmigan up here. It's just literally just over here on these rocks. Yeah, so that's it. Let's get back in. You can see reasonably organised over here. Had our dinner. So yeah, time for snacks and chilling. So it's these long winter nights. You often have many hours in the tent. So yeah, it's nearly 10 o'clock. It's been pretty blustery the last little while. It dropped right off at one point and there was like no wind, but it's picked up again, nothing too serious. So we'll see how the tent does overnight and I'll report back to you on that. Otherwise, all warm and tucked up in the quilt. Got the Neo Air X Lite that I always use just because they're so warm for the weight. They're not always the most comfortable mats. I think there are other options out there that are more comfortable, and I definitely want to try some other ones as well, some of the new models coming out from like Nemo. But this is one of the new X Lights with the wing lock valve, which definitely is a much better valve system, and also they made them a lot less crinkly, if you can hear already. It's not so much like a crisp packet that a lot of people found annoying in the past, so that's good. But yeah, they're pretty hard to beat for the overall warmth to weight. So yeah, I mean, really just chill time and fall asleep, hopefully drift off, wake up, and we'll see what we got. Either a beautiful inversion or probably clag. But you never know. But wherever you are and whatever you're doing with your Saturday night, whether it's on a mountain, in a bothy, on the couch, or in bed already, tucked up, reading a book, I hope that you're enjoying it and having a lovely time. And we'll see you in the morning. Unless anything exciting happens in the night, obviously, then I'll bring you back. So that's where we were. So obviously, as always, leave no trace. Go on better if you find rubbish up in a place where you go, take it out with you. Luckily it's very clean around here and I've not found any rubbish. I normally don't on these hills because they aren't really that popular. But if you do, then take it with you. But that's us all packed up, everything's away, tent down, soaking wet that it was. And we're still in this big cloud, no views to speak of, so apologies for that. If I had a say in it, I would have given you some lovely cloud inversion or something, but sometimes you just get what you get. Hey everyone, I'm looking pretty dishevelled this morning after running down off of the hill. The hair's in an interesting state. But yeah, it was obviously really claggy this morning, so there wasn't a lot in the way of views. But we ran down, that's the royal we, me and you, off of the hill, and made decent time all in all, just over an hour down. So we're just by the house now. The plan is go in, have a shower, have lots of coffee and chill out because it's a Sunday. But as I was running down, I just thought, oh, there's loads of things I haven't told you as always. I should have taken advantage of the time in the tent, but you know, I'll get there in the end. All sorts of gear things, and obviously living here, we're not far from coming up on 2 years of living up in the Southern Highlands, and yes, we do still love it. Yes, it has its challenges sometimes, like anything in life, but I think it's still the best decision I ever made in my life. If you love doing the things that I love doing, and if you're watching this, you probably love doing, then it really helps to facilitate that and make it a lot easier. You can head straight out the back of your house for a wild camp in the hills, which is always good. And yeah, everything else has been all right. Obviously warmed up a lot running down as we dropped out of the wind and dropped down lower. So it's definitely a lot warmer down here than it was on the summit for sure. Wet overall. I didn't bother with waterproof trousers, no need for it. It's not cold enough, so I just let my thin running trousers get wet. And rocking the Gore-Tex Active waterproof jacket from Haglofs that I like because it breathes very well, but it's got quite a good durability to it for when you're wearing a pack. I will talk to you guys about the pack that I wore. Probably another time in more detail because I'm still kind of getting used to it, but it's the OMM Phantom 25, so the original Mountain Marathon Phantom 25, and it's like a Fastpacking running style pack, but with enough space that you can really fit kit for a wild camp, or more than one night, obviously, depending on how you pack and what you carry. So yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching. As always, I appreciate it. If you've enjoyed it, then please do subscribe. We've got plenty going on with the channel, and we're always putting up new content pretty much every 2 weeks at the moment. And if you've got any questions about anything or want to have a chat, then just do it down in the comments below. And you can always check us out on Instagram at Outdoor Intrigue. We post bits and pieces on there as well. Otherwise, take care. Hope you have a lovely Sunday. Chill out. I'll see you later.